All right, just pulled in at Portborough Provincial Park. About to tarp up above our main tent just for some shade. It's not supposed to rain, but yeah, if you're anything like me, you had to research how to get tarps up efficiently. And I think I broke the system, broke the code, figured out the best ways to do it. So let's check it out. So usually the first thing is getting the rope on top of a tree or over a tree or finding a branch. And I've seen a lot of nails or a lot of screws in trees to hang off of them, but I think the easiest way is to just throw it over a tree branch, a tree limb, and then let it fall down. And then once we're ready to tie it off tight, once we go around the tree a couple times and tie it off, then the fact that it hugs the tree is actually the support. So the branch is really just to aim it on up. And the way that I did that, instead of climbing a tree like a lot of people have done or try to get up high in a tree, you just take your hammer, which you have for your tent pegs anyways, you tie your rope around the hammer and you hammer throw over the branch, grab the hammer, pull it down, release the hammer, and away you go. Done. So what I do is I do that for both sides. One rope coming down here, one rope going up to the next tree, and then we're gonna tie off our tarp. We're doing a ridge install, so it'll be like a peak rather than a lean-to. So we'll show you how to do that now. So the next thing is to get your tarp attached to your rope. And I always thought that you'd have to put the rope through the grommets and then up over your tree. But I've kind of found sometimes you want to really adjust where your tarp is, but you want your tree to stay the same without having to yank it down and re-thread it. So the best way to do that is to put a small loop in your rope, put it through the grommet, and then find a stick that's not going to break on you, about ½ inch thick, and you put it through your loop and you pull that tight, and there you go. Your rope is now attached to your tarp. And then if you need, you can always adjust your rope by pulling it back through, moving the stick, adjust it where you want your tarp, and then redo it. So what I do is I start with the back edge of the tarp, just to make sure the tarp is over top of our tent. So really, I'm just gonna pull this rope around the tree until the back edge of my tarp obviously this will be higher up once the ridge line is tight, but I'm gonna kind of pull it to where I think I'll need it, and then you just wrap it around the tree. Give it a couple wraps around the tree. So now it's less of the branch holding the tarp, and it's really the strength of the tree holding the tarp. And then yeah, you just find a place to tie it off. It doesn't have to be anything too beautiful, because like I said, the rope is pulled back on itself for strength. So we'll leave that and we'll go to the other side. So now we just come to the other side, the other tree, the other rope, and we start pulling it to like our height. Then again, we walk over and we wrap that off onto the tree, and our ridge line is done. Then when it comes to pegging down the four corners, you just do the same thing. You take some more rope. Rope is your friend at a campsite. Tie a loop in the top of it, stick it through, put another piece of wood there. And again, this is gonna save us having to tie off our rope to the grommet, which means you're gonna have to undo a lot of knots by the end of the camp. All right, then you just pull it back to where you want it. If I had a tree, then I would wrap it off to the tree. But since I don't have a tree here, I'll just stake this into the ground. Once you do all four corners, you can put your tent right under there, and it's gonna help you with rainfall, and it's gonna help you with shade in a really hot day. So again, all four corners, just with the stick method. And 3 of the 4 corners tent pegged. One of them had to go into a tree. And as you can see, we've got our fire pit over there. So I just kind of made some extra loops in it, and we'll be able to put our tent under there perfectly. So there you go. It's a super easy way to put up a tent. Doesn't really take long at all. Hope you guys find some of these tricks helpful on your next camping expedition with you and your family.